A very colourful new pedestrian bridge has just opened up in Perth, which links Kings Park with a children's hospital. And I thought I'd ride across it and have a look, and that's the children's hospital there. Here's the Premier opening the bridge last week. It was initially supposed to cost $1 million. It ended up costing $7 million, just a little bit over budget. But what can we learn from this for Sydney? Well, I think there's a couple of lessons we can take away. And the first is, where does the bridge take you when it's finished? So here's just some context of Kings Park and where the bridge is and the kind of convoluted route we have to take once you get off it. So we're riding through Kings Park, and this is what it looks like. There's bushland, there's shared paths through it. They're not kind of nice wide modern paths, but you share them with pedestrians, they're fine. And there's the bridge on the left, and it is quite a construction, I'll tell you that. It is something else, it really is. But as a bit of cycling infrastructure, I'd have to say, yeah, no. And look, they actually don't want cyclists riding across it, and I can understand why, because it's just not a good shared bit of infrastructure for cyclists and pedestrians. Cyclists are much better off just crossing at the traffic lights elsewhere. But look, it looks fantastic. It's an architect's wet dream, I'll tell you that. But let's just have a look at how long it takes to ride across it. And I wasn't going slow, I wasn't going fast, I was just meandering along. So what are the problems with this thing? Well, firstly, the curves completely block your sight lines as you're going anywhere. There's a lot of them. It's too steep. I mean, I know that sounds strange, but I mean, it wasn't a struggle to get up like the Anzac Bridge, but it was really too steep. It'd be too steep for young kids to ride up here. It's also too narrow. If you're going to share this with pedestrians and cyclists, it really needs to be, a metre or more wider. So, given they spent $7 million on this thing, you got to wonder if they'd spent a little bit less on the colourful paint and maybe a little bit more on widening it and making it a bit more usable. It could have been a really good piece of shared infrastructure. And here we are. It took a minute to get from one side of a 4-lane road to the other. I mean, all that road is, it's 2 lanes in one direction, 2 lanes in the other. That's it. Yeah, that's a lot of rigmarole to get across the road. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with what it's like to ride the kilometre or so from the bridge to the playground. But yeah, it's quite a distance. Particularly if you've got sick kids, who you think could do with a day out at the playground. It's a fair distance to go. I mean, what if they're in a wheelchair and you've got to push them? It's quite a way. Surely, they could have made a shorter route to get you across here. I can see why they did it, because this is a really, really good playground. There's a nice cafe there. There's a pond here with an island in the middle and lots of climbing stuff. I mean, I've been here with the kids multiple times and they really enjoyed it. So thumbs up for that. But when I left and I was trying to get back to the hospital, what did I do? I went back to where I thought the path was, and the path wasn't there. Better go back and have a look in the other direction. Yeah, absolutely no signage telling you which path to take to get back to the hospital. So, yeah, they've thought about the bridge, but not about some of those other aspects. But where could the route have gone instead? Well, obviously there's the bridge. We ride down past it just a little bit, and we find there's a dirt track leading off to our left in the direction of the playground. Now, it's closed at the moment. There was some kind of chemical spraying going on. They didn't want people walking down there, but you can see the track on the satellite map. That's where I went. I think the better route to have taken would have been to have concreted that path through there. But I imagine the board probably had an absolute fit at that idea that they didn't want to disturb the natural whatever of the park by laying some more concrete. So if you ask me, yeah, this is a bridge to nowhere. I'll really be interested to see how many parents do make that journey with their kids, because I just think it's too far. Great idea, badly executed, because they haven't thought about what to do on the other side of the bridge. And as far as making this a good piece of shared infrastructure for pedestrians and cyclists, I think it's a complete fail on that front as well. It's just completely wrong as a bridge for cyclists. Don't use it, go down the traffic lights. I won't be using it again. So there you go, $7 million. What do you think of that?